If you want to take your English to the next level, then learn these big words, their meanings, and how to use them in sentences, and then see how much more confident you will sound in English. For each of these words that you know, give yourself 1 point. At the end, let me know your score in the comments. And no cheating or leaving the game midway. Try to complete all 75 words. If this is your first time on Rise with Komal channel, then welcome. Please subscribe to receive the subsequent lessons. Alright, are we ready now? Let's start. Number 1. Pernicious. Having a harmful effect, especially in a gradual or subtle way. Let's look at the example. The pernicious influence of excessive screen time on children is a growing concern. Next, serendipity. The occurrence of events by chance in a happy or beneficial way. Finding her dream job in Paris was a stroke of serendipity. Third, obfuscate. Render, obscure, unclear, or unintelligible. Example, the politician tried to obfuscate the issue with vague statements. Plethora. Large or excessive amount of something. She offered a plethora of excuses for her tardiness. Ubiquitous. Present, appearing, or found everywhere. Smartphones are now ubiquitous in modern life. Nefarious. Wicked or criminal. The detective uncovered the nefarious activities of the gang. Quintessential. Representing the most perfect or typical example of a quality or class. Let's look at the example. She is the quintessential example of a successful businesswoman. Ephemeral. Lasting for a very short time. Fame in the entertainment world is often ephemeral. Next, loquacious. Tending to talk a great deal. Example, the loquacious host kept all the guests entertained. Mellifluous. Sweet or musical. Pleasant to hear. The mellifluous voice of the singer captivated everyone. Well done! We are through first 10 words. Keep going, buddy. This is fun. Lugubrious. Looking or something sad and dismal. His lugubrious face made it obvious he was upset. Ineffable. Too great or extreme to be expressed or described in words. The beauty of the sunset was ineffable. Nonchalant. Feeling or appearing casually calm and relaxed. Example, she gave a nonchalant shrug when asked about her plans. Parsimonious. Unwilling to spend money or used resources. His parsimonious nature meant he rarely treated himself. Acrimony. Bitterness or ill feeling. Example, The debate concluded with a surprising lack of acrimony. Belligerent, hostile or aggressive. His belligerent attitude made it difficult to negotiate. Cacophony, a harsh, dissonant mixture of sounds. The cacophony of the city streets was overwhelming. Demagogue, a political leader who seeks support by appealing to popular desires rather than using rational argument. The demagogue speeches were aimed at stirring up the crowd. Ennui, a feeling of listlessness and dissatisfaction arising from a lack of occupation or excitement. He suffered from ennui after retiring from his job. Fastidious, very attentive to and concerned about accuracy and detail. She was fastidious about her appearance. Gregarious, fond of company, sociable. He was a gregarious and outgoing individual. Hubris, excessive pride or self-confidence. His hubris led to his downfall. Intransigent, unwilling or refusing to change one's view or to agree about something. Let's look at the example. The intransigent child refused to change his mind. Juxtapose, place or deal with close together for contrasting effect. Black and white photos of the city were juxtaposed with color images. Kowtow, act in an excessively subservient manner. He refused to kowtow to the demands of the unreasonable client. Wow, you know now 25 more advanced English words. How cool is that? Let's keep going. Labyrinthine, complicated and confusing like a labyrinth. The labyrinthine legal process frustrated everyone involved. Machiavellian, cunning, scheming, and unscrupulous, especially in politics. His Machiavellian tactics in business were infamous. Nadir, the lowest point in the fortunes of a person or organization. Example, the company's stocks reached their nadir due to the scandal. Ostracize, exclude from a society or group. He was ostracized from the community for his beliefs. Panacea, a solution or remedy for all difficulties or diseases. Example, technology is not a panacea for all our problems. Quixotic, exceedingly idealistic, unrealistic, and impractical. Example, his quixotic vision for the world was admirable yet unattainable. Recalcitrant. Having an obstinately uncooperative attitude toward authority or discipline. The recalcitrant student continually disrupted the class. Sycophant. A person who acts obsequiously towards someone important in order to gain advantage. The CEO was surrounded by sycophants who agreed with every word he said. Truncate. Shorten something by cutting off the top or the end. Example, the article was truncated to fit the space available in the newspaper. Utilitarian. Designed to be useful or practical rather than attractive. Let's look at the example. The building's design was strictly utilitarian. Vilify. Speak or write about in an abusively disparaging manner. Let's look at the example. He was unfairly vilified by the press. Winsome. Attractive or appealing in appearance or character. Her winsome smile won over the audience. Xenophobia. Dislike of or prejudice against people from other countries. Example, his speeches often incited xenophobia. Yokel. An uneducated and unsophisticated person from the countryside. He was treated as a yokel after moving to the city. Zeitgeist. The defining spirit or mood of a particular period of history as shown by the ideas and beliefs of the time. Example, his work captured the zeitgeist of the early 2000s. Aberration. A departure from what is normal or expected, typically an unwelcome one. Example, the economic crisis was an aberration in the country's history of prosperity. Banal. So lacking in originality as to be obvious and boring. Example, the conversation was banal and uninteresting. Capricious. Given to sudden and unaccountable changes of mood or behavior. His capricious nature made her difficult to work with. Dogmatic. Inclined to lay down principles as incontrovertibly true. Let's look at the example. He was dogmatic in the belief that he was always right. Esoteric. Intended for or likely to be understood by only a small number of people with specialized knowledge or interest. The book was full of esoteric references that were lost on most readers. Flippant. Not showing a serious or respectful attitude. Example, His flippant remark about the situation angered many. Grandiose, impressive, or magnificent in appearance or style, especially pretentiously so. Example: the grandiose plans for the city park were eventually scaled back. Heterodox, not conforming with accepted or orthodox standards or beliefs. Her heterodox views often caused debate among her peers. Iconoclast, a person who attacks cherished beliefs or institutions. Example: as an iconoclast, he enjoyed challenging traditional ideas. Jingoism, extreme patriotism, especially in the form of aggressive or warlike foreign policy. Example: his speeches were often criticized for their jingoism. Congratulations! You have hit a half century. 50 advanced words added to your English vocabulary. Now for the last round. Alacrity, brisk and cheerful readiness. Example: she accepted the invitation with an alacrity that surprised her friends. Bucolic, relating to the pleasant aspects of the countryside and country life. The cottage had a charming bucolic setting. Circumspect, wary and unwilling to take risks. The circumspect investor avoided high-risk stocks. Didactic, intended to teach, particularly in having moral instruction as an ulterior motive. Example: the novel was didactic in nature, aiming to impart valuable life lessons. Jungian, cheerful and full of energy. She was human after receiving good news. Facetious, treating serious issues with deliberately inappropriate humor. His facetious comments were often misunderstood as serious statements. Garrulous, excessively talkative, especially on trivial matters. His garrulous taxi driver kept chatting throughout the journey. Harangue, a lengthy and aggressive speech. Example: the manager's harangue at the meeting left everyone feeling deflated. Idiosyncrasy, a mode of behavior or way of thought peculiar to an individual. One of our idiosyncrasies is always wearing mismatched socks. Jovial, cheerful and friendly. His jovial demeanor made him popular at social events. Kaleidoscopic, having complex patterns of colors, constantly changing. The kaleidoscopic Lights at the concert were mesmerizing. Laudable. Deserving praise and commendation. Let's look at the example. Her efforts to raise money for charity were laudable. Mercurial. Subject to sudden or unpredictable changes of mood or mind. His mercurial temperament made him a difficult colleague. Nostalgia. A sentimental longing or wistful affection for a period in the past. Listening to those songs filled him with nostalgia for his college days. Obdurate. Stubbornly refusing to change one's opinion or course of action. Despite the criticism, he remained obdurate in his decision. Pedantic. Excessively concerned with minor details or rules. His pedantic approach to bookkeeping was both a strength and a weakness. Querulous. Complaining in a petulant or whining manner. Her querulous tone irritated her colleagues. Reprobate. An unprincipled person, often used humorously or affectionately. Example: despite his reprobate image, he was surprisingly ethical in a business. Sagacious. Having or showing keen mental discernment and good judgment. The sagacious leader made thoughtful decisions in times of crisis. Tantamount. Equivalent in seriousness to, virtually the same as. Her refusal to answer was tantamount to an admission of guilt. Unctuous. Excessively flattering or ingratiating. Oily. His unctuous compliments were clearly insincere. Vociferous. Expressing or characterized by vehement opinions, loud and forceful. The protesters were vociferous in their demands for justice. Wistful. Having or showing a feeling of vague or regretful longing. She had a wistful look when she spoke of her childhood. Zealous. Having or showing zeal. Fervent. The zealous fans camped overnight for concert tickets. Abstruse. Difficult to understand or obscure. The abstruse theory was difficult for beginners in the field to grasp. Amazing! You have learned 75 advanced English words today. If you have come this far, I applaud you. You are a dedicated and sincere learner. Do let me know in the comments what your score is. And I can't wait to hear how you use them in your everyday conversations. Alright, keep learning. Do like the video and subscribe for more such lessons. See you soon. Bye.